Your obsession with managing a half-broken car is taking over your life. All you talk about is car maintenance. It's keeping you from happiness. Maybe you should try to focus on other things. That's how it sounds. And we can't exactly go get a new car. Hi holograms, it's new! So you guys know that I make a lot of different kinds of content. I have a lot of interests, I have a lot of things that I like to explore and play with and work on. But something that's really important to me is talking about chronic illness, mental illness, chronic pain, and all of the struggles that come with those kinds of disabilities, those kinds of challenges. The reason it's important for me to talk about this stuff is because when I was in my early 20s and even mid-20s, going through all of this, I was really alone. I felt really isolated. I didn't have anyone in my circles who was there to support, not because they were bad people, but because they just didn't have the capacity or the education or the awareness to be there for someone who had these really weird, mysterious, invisible illnesses. Because, you know, I look fine. That's something that we'll go over again and again. I look completely fine. And it's hard for people to reconcile that. It's hard for people to say, well, okay, you say that you're sick and I believe you. They really just think that I'm faking. And that's not what this video is about. Today, I'm actually talking about something that comes with the experience of having chronic illnesses, and especially for those of us who make an effort to be a voice in the community, in the world, in our spaces, among our peers, at work, wherever. We get a lot of pushback. And a little while ago, I got a comment from someone on one of my videos about chronic illness or a supplement I was trying, or I don't know, I don't remember what it was, but they basically said something along the lines of like, wow, I feel really sorry for you because all you do is talk about your illnesses. Like, maybe you should get a hobby, maybe you should play video games or do something other than talk about your illnesses. It really genuinely triggered a negative response in me at that time, because I was like, what the f are you talking about? Obviously I have hobbies. I just posted a Let's Play. Like, I do Japanese translations. I have so many things that I do outside of me sitting here in this little box talking about chronic illness and blogging about it, whether on my blog or Twitter or wherever else. It was so infuriating to me, because I was like, are you not paying attention? Like, they assume that's all my life is. Like, I walk around going, I'm chronically ill, I'm chronically ill, oh my god, I'm chronically ill, what am I gonna do? Although a large part of my day is about planning and, what's the word? Managing my spoons and stuff like that. Brain fog right now. I have to. It has to be a part of our lives when we have illnesses like these, because we have to schedule our shit. If we go over our budget, then we end up sicker than we were, and that's something that healthy people don't get. It's not their fault that they don't get it, but it still pisses us off really easily, right? It's so infuriating that someone could be so locked into their own experience that they can't go, I'm healthy and I've never had the experience of having low spoons, because I regenerate mine because my body is optimal, my organs are optimal. Instead of them going, wow, they have a different experience than me, their body doesn't work the same as me, they go, oh, well, you must be like, because you're so focused on it, you just make it worse, and like, you need a hobby, you know, you're obsessed, you're consumed. So at that time when I got that comment, I did have a dialogue with that person, and they still just weren't getting it. I think I ended up like blocking them or something, because they were just, it was like that on every video of mine. They would be like, you're always talking about your illnesses, or you're always talking about supplements that help you, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. Like, it's in my mission statement. But anyway, I made a post on my blog, and I wanted to read it to you guys today. Hopefully it will give spoonies the vocabulary to explain some of what they're going through, and hopefully it will help those of you who don't understand to understand it. A common experience spoonies have is people saying things like, you're consumed with your illness, you're obsessed with your illness, all you talk about is being sick, you're so fixated on your pain. The reason people say these things to us is that we make them uncomfortable. The reality of our lives and the way we have to live is too awkward for people. Your friend breaks their arm, you sign their cast, you get them a card, you take a grinning selfie with them. It's easy to be sympathetic and present with them because you know that in 6 to 8 weeks the cast comes off. When you know someone who's chronically ill, who's exhausted from running on fumes, whose depression can knock them on their asses for weeks to months at a time, who has a baseline level of chronic pain that would make you take a week off of work, who has to be mindful of every choice they make, otherwise they end up even sicker. It can be difficult to understand, and difficult to be present for them. Most of us aren't really taught how to be there for people. You hear stories about people getting sick or getting into a bad car wreck and losing all their friends simply because they didn't know how to be there for them, and it was more comfortable to just stop calling. Why call and check on your sick friend if you already know they're in pain today, tomorrow, and the next day? It's too awkward. It's icky. People don't like to be faced with this part of life. That's their choice, if that's something they can't handle, and they're free to make it. I won't say it doesn't hurt, because it does. But in the end, I've found peace with those who left me behind when I got sick. But for those of us who don't have a choice, for those of us who have to be smart every day about everything we do, we don't get to stop being friends with ourselves because we got uncomfortable with the topic of illness and disability. It's literally our reality. And some of us have always been sick, just called whiners, complainers, fakers, our whole childhood. So when we reach adulthood and our bodies get worse because they've been trying so hard, it's a major adjustment. The reason it seems to a healthy person that we are obsessed, consumed, and fixated on our illnesses is because we had to adapt to survive. We had to change the way we live our lives. We had to learn things we never knew about. We have to deal with the pain of trillions of screaming, tired, aching cells every day. And if we didn't make smart choices and take inventory on our levels every hour, we would be worse off. Imagine you have a nice hybrid car. You're zooming along and your friend is struggling to keep up. Their car is old, it has leaks and many other issues. They keep having to stop as it overheats. They keep having to stop for gas when you don't. They have to drive smart and not waste time or gas getting where they need to go. They can't make that U-turn and go back to grab something they forgot at the shop, or they won't make it back. They can't drive out after errands to see friends without having to push their car home or get it towed after. Imagine if you said to them, as they pulled over to give the wheezing, sputtering, leaking, steaming car a break, "You're so consumed by your car problems. You let this control how you drive on the road. Your obsession with managing a half-broken car is taking over your life. All you talk about is car maintenance. It's keeping you from happiness. Maybe you should try to focus on other things." That's how it sounds. And we can't exactly go get a new car. Alright everyone, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this gave some insight to the issue. If you know someone who has illness and they have to really manage their spoons, please be hyper aware of those kinds of thoughts, and especially when you voice them, how it sounds. I just feel like I had to say it because it comes up constantly in the work that I do, you know, me putting myself out there and talking about this, the comments that I get, and even private messages I get from spoonies who are struggling because they hear those kinds of things all the time. It's hard. It's so hard when you are putting everything you have into surviving and making the most out of your life when your body can't keep up, and people who are healthy are just like jogging along and looking at you and going, "Why are you so obsessed with your illness?" Again, it's not their fault that they are saying that or that they think that way, because people genuinely can only ever respond at their own level of awareness, and it's okay to be mad at that, but also I think just try to take that step back and take that breath and go, you know what? I just have to have love for them where they're at, and if it's not healthy for you, if they're doing it so much that it's impacting your mental health, get the away from them, you know? You don't owe them your time. I know that that's easier said than done, because if it's family or someone you live with or someone you work with, it's not easy to get away from that. But you know what? If it's gonna make other people uncomfortable, good. It should. Because there are millions of people living like this, who are struggling, who are suffering, who are constantly at the doctor, or maybe can't even afford to go to the doctor. We have to put up with so much just to get by. I mean, Jesus, I've been trying to get an MRI for 4 months now, and I'm struggling, and I'm getting scared, and we just have to do the best we can. Hang in there, okay, my spoonies? I love you, and I'm really proud of you for making it this far. As always, thank you to my patrons for making this video possible, and a huge shout out to my superstar holograms! Whee! Thank you, I love you. I leave you all with a good luck kiss. Mwah. And may the spoons be with you. Bye! Kittens, come on. Kittens? Hey! Hey, 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 hey. What are you doing?